So you said this earlier, every vendor has AI on their slides, they all have a strategy. How do you differentiate what Oracle's doing, especially around finance and accounting, versus some of the competition out there?
One thing that's interesting and differentiated about how Oracle is doing AI is we are building AI not as a bolt-on external technology, we are building it into the platform and exposing it in the natural context of process flows and application flows. And we're very intentional about this. We took the decision to do this because it's a slower approach, but it's a winning approach over time in our thinking. The reason is AI needs to be contextual for it to be useful. And the context is the application context, the user context, the use case context, the security context. All of that is available only when you build it into the platform. And the platform is, 2 levels of platform. A lot of AI is available in a layer that's common across all of Oracle's applications, ERP, EPM, supply chain, HCM, and so on, right? So the AI layer for applications is a horizontal thing that's made use of by every application stack or every application pillar within Oracle. And then, more importantly, it's also built into the OCI platform that we all build our applications on. So through that process, we can ensure scale, we can ensure performance, we can ensure security and governance. All of those things are very, very important for finance because in the finance context, you can deliver functionality, but if that functionality is to be trusted and adopted, we need to make sure of governance and security. And one of the questions that I was talking to them about the planning agent and the cool work that we're doing with the planning agent. The first question from my FP&A contact at a customer was, "This is great, but will this planning agent be able to access all of the data, or how do you manage that process?" Right. It's a very real question, and as part of that, we also took the intentional decision to give all of these capabilities included as part of the EPM suite and as part of the ERP suite, as part of the HCM. It's not a separately charged line item. Okay. It's included as part of the customer's subscription because we think this is going to benefit everyone. And we want to make it easy for everyone to consume this without concerns about, okay, how do I, if you talk to some other vendors, they'll talk to you about, okay, the first 200,000 tokens are free. After that, we start charging for this. And the guy in finance is scratching his head saying, okay, what's the token and how do I estimate how many tokens I need? So we wanted customers not to worry about all of that. We said, it's embedded, it's included, it's available, start using it. Yeah. I mean, some of it really comes down to our DNA. We've been in this business for a long time, and we know finance, we get finance, and our software builds financial intelligence as a core element of everything we do. And we apply that to the AI capabilities that we bring to the table, right? That's a very important differentiation. The second one is what we talked about earlier. We're not approaching AI as an interesting bolt-on capability. We are approaching AI as a fundamental enabler of change through our software. That's why we took the decision to build it into the platform, build it as a core capability, which means all of the finance context is very important, the application context is very important, the user context is very important. So if you look at some of our smaller competitors, they don't have the wherewithal to build all of this in-house. They need to go out. They need to go get forecasting capabilities from AWS or Google Cloud or somebody like that, which is fine. I mean, those are fine companies. They build fine capabilities, but you're put in a position of, okay, your application data lives within your application. In order to do forecasting, you perhaps have to find a way to share that information with the forecasting model that's in a different cloud, bring the results back, right. Do all of that. And in that process, there are question marks around performance, there are question marks around security, there are question marks around scalability. Are you intermingling your one customer's data with somebody else's data in order to train those models? Who knows? I don't know. There aren't clear-cut answers to those kinds of questions, and that creates a lot of tension in the minds of finance people. So our sort of counsel to finance prospects looking at AI capabilities is, look, the demonstrations may be shiny, but ask these harder questions in terms of how is this built, how is the model being trained, how is security enforced, what is the level of data sharing, what LLM do you use, and how do you know that that LLM is secure and can be trusted with my, because in EPM, we're dealing with aggregated financial data, which often is forward-looking.
Right.
That's, if that gets out, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
And to ensure the security of that data, it's a number one consideration for everybody, to state the obvious, for everybody in finance.
Sure.
In looking at a new interesting technology, don't lose sight of that.
Right.
Ask the right questions to ensure that the other vendors can do that. In many cases, the other vendors aren't in the best position to ensure these things to the extent they need to be ensured, or to the extent that a vendor like Oracle, who has invested not only in the application layer but in the platform layer and can bring the two together, that's our big differentiation, and that's a big reason to go with our AI. Look, just because we are building it the right way, it doesn't mean we are slow. We are definitely outpacing other vendors in terms of innovation because we are larger and we have the ability to make larger investments. But it's not just the innovation or the functional capabilities, it's all these other things that help differentiate us. And pricing is an important element as well, because most vendors see AI as a way to juice up their revenue streams. It's a monetization opportunity. And so they're saying, in the short term, if I can get a 20% bump from selling AI as an extra capability, I'm going to do that. And it makes commercial sense, but does it make sense for the customer? We think it's going to constrain adoption. Which is why we chose not to do that. Which is why, in the EPM context, we believe, okay, FP&A may be the first group within finance that's looking at AI because they are more, the nature of their job is more analytical. But we think, AI is going to benefit every part of EPM, every part of finance. So in the financial consolidation area, we think AI has a lot of different use cases. Reconciliations can benefit from AI. Consolidation can benefit from AI. The close process can be streamlined and made into a continuous process through AI. So we think there is a lot of potential across the board. And if you don't build AI the right way, then you're creating silos within EPM even, and that's what many competitors are doing. They're saying, okay, planning works one way because it's a forecasting problem. Reconciliations works a different way because it's a different problem kind of thing. So you have different models, different engines, different technologies to address the needs of EPM. We think that's not a scalable model, that's not a workable model in the long term, because you're creating different approaches even within point solutions within EPM, and that's not the way to go.
Yeah, it's still